Hey, welcome. Today, we're diving into a really cool story about how a growing grocery chain went from being totally buried in messy spreadsheets to making smart, data-driven decisions. We're going to follow their entire journey from total data chaos to crystal clear strategy. Let's get right into it.
Pretty much every data journey starts in the exact same place: chaos. It's a universal thing. As a company starts to grow, its data just explodes. You've got information coming from everywhere, but trying to find real, actual knowledge in all that noise, that's the real challenge.
The team behind this project has a perfect name for the starting point: Excel spaghetti, and honestly, it's brilliant. Just picture it. Dozens, maybe hundreds of different spreadsheets for sales, for inventory, for promotions. Headers are all different, dates are in wacky formats, product names change from one week to the next. It is a tangled, impossible mess that makes getting a straight answer to a simple question feel like a nightmare.
So how in the world do you get from that mess of spaghetti to actual strategic insights? Well, that's what we're going to walk through. We'll start with the big picture strategy, and then we're going to break it down into 4 key challenges. First, taming all that data, then making it trustworthy, then finding the predictive signals hiding inside, and finally, the big one, using it to make a real impact on the business.
This whole thing is really a story about leveling up. It's about a company evolving through 4 different stages of data maturity. It's about going from just, surviving with the data you have to actually thriving because of it.
So here's the game plan, the roadmap for that journey. Step 1 is building a solid foundation. You got to turn that chaos into some kind of structure. Then, you have to establish trust by cleaning up all that messy data until it's a reliable asset. Only then can you start uncovering insights and finding those predictive signals. And what's the ultimate goal? To drive strategy, to turn all those insights into real, measurable business impact.
All right, let's jump into the first challenge: taming the spaghetti. The goal here is pretty simple to say, but it's a massive undertaking. Turn that tangled mess of spreadsheets into a single, organized, and structured database.
And this slide really nails the transformation. You're going from the before, this absolute chaos of countless disconnected files, to the after, a beautiful, orderly, single source of truth. And I gotta tell you, this isn't just a cleanup project. This is building the entire foundation that every single piece of analysis will depend on from here on out.
And this takes some serious data engineering chops. We're talking about mapping out how all the different pieces of data relate to each other, organizing it all to get rid of errors, and building automated systems, pipelines, to keep it clean and up to date. This is the absolute bedrock of the entire project.
Okay, so we've got ourselves a database. Awesome. But that brings us right to the next big challenge: making the data trustworthy. Because let's be real, a database that's full of bad data is just a really well-organized mess. The mission now is to turn all those errors into integrity.
This shows you just how critical this next step is. Before, the data was totally unreliable. You had missing sales numbers, duplicate customer entries, weird, unexplained spikes in the data. Afterwards, you have a data set that's been audited, validated, and is completely trustworthy. And here's the key: leadership can now actually make decisions based on this data with confidence. That's a huge shift.
To get this done, you have to be methodical. It means systematically hunting down all the problems, using smart statistical methods to fill in any missing blanks, and standardizing everything, like all the different category names. But maybe most importantly, you have to double-check that your fixes haven't accidentally changed the story the data was trying to tell you in the first place.
Now, with a trusted data set in our hands, we can finally get to the really exciting part: finding future signals. This is where we stop just looking at what happened in the past and start trying to predict the future. It's about turning all that raw data into powerful predictive signals.
Think about it like this. Before this stage, the company had years of clean historical data, which is great, but it was just kind of sitting there. The whole point here is to activate it, to find those hidden patterns, like how do holidays really impact sales? How do the seasons change what people are buying? Can we even predict how a hot, sunny day might drive demand for things like BBQ supplies?
So how do they do this? Well, this is where data scientists bring out the big guns. They use advanced analytics to separate long-term trends from the weekly or seasonal patterns. They build powerful forecasting models to look ahead. This lets the business go way beyond just guesswork and actually put a number on it. Like they can quantify exactly how much a holiday is going to lift sales.
And all of this leads us to the final challenge, which is where the rubber really meets the road: driving business impact. This is all about connecting everything we've learned about shoppers and their behavior directly to the business strategy and, the bottom line. This slide just perfectly captures that leap from simple facts to deep understanding. I mean, it's one thing to know that 40% of your customers are in your loyalty program. That's a fact. But it is a whole other universe to know exactly how their spending habits change the moment they join, and to be able to simulate the precise return on investment of a new promotion before you even launch it. That's a game changer. This is where the really next-level modeling comes in. Analysts can now figure out true cause and effect. Did that promotion actually cause more sales, or were those people going to buy that stuff anyway? By building these simulators, they can literally create a promotion playbook that tells the marketing team exactly what to do to get the best bang for their buck.
So let's zoom out for a second and just look at the entire journey we've walked through, this incredible transformation from total chaos to strategic clarity.
I love this table because it just lays it all out so clearly. Look at the progression here. You start with the data foundation, just getting everything organized. Then you move to data integrity, making sure the numbers are actually right. From there, you get temporal insight, understanding when things happen. And it all leads to the grand finale, behavioral ROI, understanding why things happen and how you can influence them. You can see the skills get more advanced and the business outcomes get way more powerful with every single step. And this quote from the source material really just says it all, doesn't it? The whole journey is a logical progression. You simply can't get to business impact without having analytic insight. You can't get that insight without having data you can trust. And you can't have trust without a solid data structure to begin with. Every step builds on the one before it.
Ultimately, this whole process is about learning to listen to the story that your data is trying to tell you. It's about a journey from just collecting information to truly understanding what it all means, and most importantly, how to act on it. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. If your data could talk, what story would it be telling you right now?